right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And you know, I see 3 suppliers a day in the store here on most days, and we drank a lot of wine here this year. It's always nice to see someone from Bertani Winery, one of my favorite and producers of Amarone. Most people would call them the very first, but the style of wine they make in the Veneto called Amarone goes back 1,000 years. They used to make a much sweeter wine they do. Well, the Ricciotto sweet wine they still make in this region, one of my favorite red sweet wines in the world. Amarone, a very unique wine, and you know, Italian wine's hard to understand because, well, they label them by the grape varietal, Pinot Grigio. They also label them by the DOC or DOCG, the region, Chianti Classico. Then they label them also by the style of production. Amarone is not a region. It is a style which a wine is produced where they dry the grapes before they ferment the grape juice. So, you know, they've been making wine in Italy for a very long time. The Romans were the people that propagated the grapevines throughout Europe, and they've come up with some very unique styles of wine in Italy, some of the dessert wines, and wines like Amarone, some of my favorite wines. And, well, we started out with a little Pinot Grigio. Speaking of Pinot Grigio, Bertani's Velante. This had some really unique earthy character to the aroma here, and maybe it's the volcanic soils I was noticing there. Had a bit of lemon citrus fruit kind of showing through. Some nice fresh apple and pear on the tongue with good freshness. I know that minerality showing at the end there, but pretty much light and easy quaffing Pinot Grigio for $14.75. Bertani Suave Ceriolo is next. This is a single vineyard from 100% volcanic soils, 100% Garganega, which is the grape of Suave. Sometimes they'll blend in some other grape varietals. There's a maximum of 80% required by law to be called Suave. Nice amount of that ripe peach and apple fruit notes of fresh flowers, a little orange citrus there as well. Very fresh, and some of that minerality from the volcanic soil showing through as well. Nice concentration and depth of flavors on the palate, and nice freshness on the finish. A very good bottle of Suave at $22.50. Bertani's Berta Rosé from Veneto. They've been making wine for years like this one. Molinara, grape varietal, pink in color, and Merlot, Molinara and Merlot. Okay, an interesting combination. Pretty cherry-like fruit on the nose. A little bit of that musky barnyard note showing here. The focus is on that red berry fruit and some nice floral notes. A good amount of red berry fruit showing on the tongue. Texture of whole milk. Nice richness there and excellent freshness on the finish. A very good bottle of rosé, $17.25. All right, the Bertani Due Uve, which means the 2 grapes, a blend of Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blanc. Slight musky quality of this wine as well, from the Sauvignon Blanc to the nice melon and apple fruit. Very aromatic bouquet there. Very distinctive wine with nice freshness and that musky quality showing through the finish. Tart grapefruit, savory notes there as well. A good wine at $19.25. And on to the red wines, the Valpolicella, the Valley of Many Cellars, what that translates to. A blend of Corvina, Veronese, and Rodinella. Very refreshing and charming style of Valpolicella. You see some Valpolicellas that are very big, like Dalforno, which is almost like most people's Amarones. This is not like that. This is a very light wine. Pretty floral notes, and a really refreshing light red. You see a lot of that in Valpolicella. A very good wine at $16.25. And then the Valpolicella Ripassa. This is a different style where they pass over the wine, over the must of the Amarone grape skins, and you get a secondary fermentation that happens in Ripasso that is unique. I don't know of too many wines that this happens with, what happens with champagne, but they do that to get the little bubbles in the bottle. Some nice dried fruit aromas showing on the nose, a nice hint of tobacco spice, and some of that clay-like minerality that I get from Valpolicella. You use cherry wood casks in this, so you get a really unique oak component as well. And then Pantena, rather, is the only crew in Valpolicella. Supposedly, that's what the people have told me anyways. The cherry is very strong here and really distinct, and this wine's got a good amount of that showing through on the palate. Some nice tannins, bright, fresh floral notes, and that clay-like minerality showing through on the finish. Very good bottle of Valpolicella, $22.50. And then the Bertani Amarone Villa Arvidi, and this is a more approachable style of Amarone, well, not only in the style on your palate, but also in price in your pocketbook. And 50% aged in cherry wood, the rest in regular oak. Sun-dried cherry fruit here showing on the nose. Cocoa, some sweet tobacco spice, and some lovely nuance on this nose. A little bit of that Play-Doh kind of clay minerality that, you know, Amarone and Valpolicella is so distinct for. Nice freshness on the palate. Really drinkable style of Amarone. Bright red cherry fruits. And that's a nice amount of fruit here. But Amarone, to me, even when young, because they dry the grapes, the tannin's always more approachable here. An excellent entry-level bottle of Amarone. And then, of course, the Bertani Amarone Amarone 2003. A very hot year, maybe not the best year for Amarone. A little bit atypical because of the heat. This one had a good amount of that sun-dried cherry and plum fruit on the nose, brown spices, dried meats. Nice complexity on the nose here. But like I said, a very difficult vintage. They had to reduce the production significantly to come up with a decent bottle of wine like this. Sweet cherry fruit, nice balance here, but not a blockbuster in style. Drinking very nicely right now. An excellent bottle of Amarone, but $123. All right, well, that's what I had to drink with the folks from Bertani. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.